Jeffrey Epstein's case is not just about one predator, it's about how our government, our courts, and our so-called justice system bend over backward to protect the wealthy and the powerful. The crimes are clear, the survivors are real, but the names, the evidence, the files, still hidden. Why? Because at every step, insiders made sure Epstein's truth never came fully to light. Tonight we're naming names. Alex Acosta, William Barr, Christopher Wray, and yes, Kash Patel, the new head of the FBI. Each of them played a role in keeping the full truth out of the public eye. This is not left versus right. This is predator versus child. This is secrecy versus justice. And until we demand accountability, the cover-up continues. To understand the cover-up, you need to understand who Epstein was connected to. Epstein wasn't just a wealthy financier. He was plugged into a global network of elites, billionaires, bankers, politicians, royalty, and celebrities. He had private islands, private jets, and a revolving door of the world's most powerful men. The flight logs, already partially public, show names like Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, and countless CEOs and financiers. Survivors testified about powerful figures abusing them. And Epstein kept meticulous records, computers, hard drives, photographs. But instead of all this evidence being laid bare, the system moved to shield the names. Why? Because the truth would destroy reputations and careers at the highest levels. That's why what happened in 2008 matters so much. In 2008, Epstein was under investigation in Florida for trafficking and abusing underage girls. There was overwhelming evidence, dozens of victims had come forward, any normal person would have faced life in prison. But then U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta cut a secret deal. Instead of federal charges, Epstein pled guilty to 2 minor state charges. He got 13 months in county jail. He was allowed to leave during the day on work release, living in luxury while his victims suffered. Even worse, Acosta's non-prosecution agreement immunized co-conspirators. That meant not just Epstein but the powerful men around him were protected. Later, when Acosta was questioned, he allegedly said he was told Epstein belonged to intelligence and was above his pay grade. We may never know if that's true, but what we do know is this. Acosta gave one of the worst plea bargains in U.S. history. Fast forward, Acosta became Trump's labor secretary. Only after renewed outrage over Epstein's case in 2019 did Acosta resign. He never faced accountability for enabling a predator. In 2019, Epstein was arrested again. This time, the charges were federal sex trafficking. He was being held in a federal detention center in Manhattan. Finally, it looked like the truth might come out. Epstein could testify. He could name names. But on August 10, 2019, Epstein was found dead in his cell. Official story, suicide. Let's look at the facts. Epstein was supposed to be on suicide watch. 2 cameras in the area malfunctioned. Guards fell asleep and falsified records. Injuries to his neck looked inconsistent with hanging, according to some experts. Attorney General William Barr promised a thorough investigation. But what did we get? A few statements, a scapegoating of 2 guards, and then silence. No full public report, no independent transparency. Barr said he was satisfied that it was suicide, but the American people weren't. Millions still believe Epstein was silenced to protect powerful men, and the lack of transparency only fuels those doubts. While all this unfolded, Christopher Wray was director of the FBI. His agency seized mountains of evidence, computers, hard drives, black books, photographs, and hours of survivor testimony. To this day, that evidence has not been fully released. Instead, we're told it's sealed for ongoing investigations. But how many years does an investigation need before the public gets answers? Survivors are silenced. Evidence is buried. Elites walk free. Wray had years to push for disclosure, and he didn't. The FBI under his leadership protected the system, not the people. In February 2025, Kash Patel was sworn in as the new director of the FBI. Patel is no stranger to Washington. He worked as a top aide to Congressman Devin Nunes, as a counterterrorism official on Trump's National Security Council, and later as chief of staff at the Pentagon. He has always been a Trump loyalist. Now, he runs the FBI. And what has he done about Epstein? Nothing. No unsealed files, no public report, no names. The silence continues. Patel could release evidence tomorrow. He could tell the public what the FBI knows. Instead, the secrecy deepens. And every day the files remain sealed, justice is delayed and denied. Let's be real. This isn't about protecting Epstein. He's dead. This is about protecting the network of powerful men who used his operation. Politicians, billionaires, royals, bankers, celebrities, Releasing the files would shatter reputations and topple careers. It could even destabilize governments or corporations. That's why the system protects the system. Judges seal records, prosecutors make excuses, politicians stay silent, and the FBI keeps the evidence locked away. The survivors are left without justice, and the American people are told to move on. But here's the truth: we are not powerless. If we sit silent, the cover-up wins. But if we organize, we can force transparency. Here's the playbook. 1. Demand the files. Call and email the FBI, DOJ, and Congress. Demand that Epstein's files, logs, and evidence be unsealed. 2. Support survivors. Donate to independent legal funds. Survivors are still suing for disclosure. They need resources to fight back. 3. Citizen journalism. Don't spread rumors. Share verified documents, court filings, FOIA releases, survivor testimony. Make the truth impossible to ignore. 4. Peaceful protests. Organize at federal courthouses and FBI field offices. Hold signs that say, "Release the Epstein files." 5. Push state attorneys general. Federal prosecutors made their deal, but states can still act. Demand state investigations. 6. Elect transparency champions. No more politicians who dodge this. Demand every candidate pledge to release the files. No pledge, no vote. Justice delayed is justice denied, and unless we demand the truth, the system will bury it forever. This is not a partisan fight. This is not left versus right. This is predator versus child. This is secrecy versus truth. Alex Acosta gave Epstein his sweetheart deal. William Barr buried the truth about his death. Christopher Wray kept the files sealed. Kash Patel now sits atop the FBI, continuing the silence. The survivors deserve more than silence. The American people deserve the truth. If we don't demand it, no one will. And if we let them bury the truth, they'll bury every future victim with it. So stand up, share this video, speak the names, demand disclosure, because only when we unite, only when we demand justice together, will the cover-up finally fall. The choice is ours: stay silent or fight for the truth. If you want transparency, like and comment below and subscribe, because I'm trying to get paid.